My wife Mary is dead. The person who once harassed her got married. Before that person got married, he sent her a message. You know, I've liked you since high school. How great it would be if the person I married was you. At that time, Mary appeared calm, but that night, I found her dead by suicide in the bathroom. Next to her was an unsent message. Okay, in the next life, it'll be your wife. After knowing each other for 20 years and being married for 3, I never knew how deeply Mary felt for him. When I opened my eyes again, I was back in high school. This time, when faced with the subtle cries for help from Mary, who was being teased, I just pretended not to know and ignored it. Mary and I have been childhood sweethearts, and we have been married for 3 years now. When we first got married, the company had just been established, and we only obtained a marriage certificate without holding a banquet. Now that the company is growing, I have put the banquet on the agenda. After all, I have loved Mary for so many years, and I want to give her a perfect wedding. In the evening, I was excitedly choosing the style of the wedding invitations, but Mary seemed noticeably uninterested. I held her tightly, my cheek brushing against the back of her neck. Honey, I love you so much. I must give you the most perfect wedding. Mary kissed me softly and said gently, okay. When selecting the banquet hall and planning at the hotel, Mary was clearly distracted. She asked me, is the wedding really necessary? What? What did you say? I was busy discussing the arrangements with the hotel manager and didn't catch what she said. It's nothing, Mary replied. She was still the same gentle and soft-spoken person, with a faint smile on her face while talking to the hotel staff. Mary said she wasn't feeling well and wanted to go home to rest. I worriedly asked her if she wanted to go to the hospital, but she refused. I was really concerned, so I ended the conversation with the hotel and went home to find her. When I opened the door, Mary wasn't resting. Instead, she was pacing back and forth with her phone in hand, repeatedly dialing a number, her face showing an unusual look of anxiety. Unfortunately, the person on the other end wasn't answering. I stepped forward and asked with concern, "What's wrong?" Mary was startled by my sudden appearance and hurriedly put down her phone, forcing a smile. It's nothing. A manager is insisting on a raise, and I'm trying to communicate. Mary is a true powerhouse. She founded the company all by herself. In fact, as her husband, I've done very little for her. I used to be an art student focused on painting, and I know nothing about business. But Mary is ambitious. She started her company right after graduating from college. And as a workaholic, she hasn't taken a vacation in years. I once asked her why she works so hard, even though she could live a wealthy life relying on my family background. However, she rejected that idea, saying she didn't want to be a woman who depends on her husband. She wants to carve out her own path and then support me. She said, I want to earn money to buy you the best art supplies and paints so you can create without worries. I walked over and gently embraced Mary, saying, don't work too hard. It makes me sad. She smiled and hugged me back, saying, okay. I didn't notice the stiffness in her expression. I forcibly dragged Mary to our favorite hot pot restaurant. The steam from the hot pot wafted enticingly, and after preparing the sauce for Mary, I started to cook the meat. I cooked a piece of beef that Mary loves, and then a piece of tripe that she also enjoys. I placed quite a few freshly cooked ingredients in Mary's bowl, but she didn't touch any of it and kept glancing at her phone. I domineeringly shoved the chopsticks in her hand and said, honey, eat. Mary chuckled and obediently started to eat. At this moment, the television in the store was broadcasting entertainment news. This morning, Star Tom announced his marriage. He will be happily tying the knot with a wealthy heiress. Congratulations to them. However, Tom also mentioned that he once had an unforgettable first love, but now he is wholeheartedly devoted to his wife. Clatter. The chopsticks in Mary's hand fell to the ground, and I hurriedly reached out to hold her hand. Don't be afraid. I'm here. Tom was our high school classmate and a complete scumbag. He once tried to bully Mary, and even to this day, she still has nightmares from time to time. Mary kept it to herself back then, but fortunately, I noticed early and warned Tom, making him too afraid to approach Mary again. Otherwise, I can't even imagine the consequences. After a while, Mary finally came to her senses and held my hand again. George, Thank you. Then Mary, with a calm expression, went with me to the amusement park. We rode the Ferris wheel together, and, at the top, I showed her the custom-made wedding ring. Although I already had one, I thought that since we were going to have a wedding, the ring should naturally be better. This was something I had spent 3 months designing myself, filled with my deep love for her. I was lost in happiness, yet I overlooked the repression and despair in Mary's eyes. In the middle of the night, I was awakened by the sound of water. When I opened a bedroom door, I was stunned by the scene before me. Mary was lying on her back in the bathtub, the water covering her face, and blood was flowing from her left hand, staining the entire tub red. I helplessly lifted Mary out of the bathtub. She still had a breath left, and her soft words were deafening to me. She said, "Tom, I love you." This sentence kept echoing in my mind until the ambulance arrived, until I was sitting outside the emergency room, until the doctor came out and regretfully told me they had done their best. My legs went weak, and I collapsed to the ground. Besides sadness, I felt lost. I found Mary's phone next to the bathtub, and there was a message from Tom. "Actually, I don't love that. The woman I love the most is still you, but you're already married. So from now on, we are strangers." And Mary's reply, which I saw but she never sent, read, "In the next life, I will be your wife." My heart felt as if it had been shattered, and tears streamed down my face. In high school, Mary was clearly bullied by Tom and had been having nightmares. As I scrolled through the messages one after another, they revealed Mary confiding in him. She said she started a company just to provide him with resources. She said marrying me was only to please the elders. She said every time we were intimate, she would disgustingly take a shower afterward, and the calls she claimed to make to the manager were all for Tom. She saved his contact as lover. How ridiculous. Her lover is married, and she decides to love again in the next life, leaving me alone in this world. After being with Mary for so many years, it seems I have never truly known her. After discovering that Mary loves Tom, I suddenly noticed many details I had previously overlooked. For example, the dinner she didn't take me to because Tom was there. For instance, her little trumpet, which always posts on the dot at midnight on the same day every year, wishing Tom a happy birthday. Even her favorite necklace, a cheap piece, was a casual gift from Tom back in high school. Haha, I laughed heartily, mocking my own foolishness. As I laughed, tears began to flow. Mary and I had been childhood friends for 20 years. Even when her family fell on hard times, I constantly found various reasons to help her, fearing to hurt her pride. After graduating from college, she wanted to start from scratch, so I moved into a rented room with her, eating instant noodles in winter without heating. My hands, accustomed to comfort, were covered in frostbite. She would hold me in her blanket and tell me about everything she wanted to achieve after becoming successful. But all this companionship couldn't compare to the impact of someone who bullied her. With my youth and love nothing in Mary's eyes, I got incredibly drunk, crying and laughing, smashing everything in the house. I collapsed onto the bed and fell into a deep sleep. When I woke up again, I found myself in a high school classroom. The teacher at the podium was glaring at me angrily. "George, sleeping in my class? Go stand outside." Still a bit dazed, I didn't argue and obediently picked up my books and walked out of the classroom. Is this a rebirth? Looking at the familiar surroundings, I was sure I had returned to my high school days. At this time, I had just finished a training camp, and my absence for more than half a year made it difficult for me to keep up with the course progress. But in fact, I had always been at the bottom of the class. Later in college, I chose to follow Mary to a second university based on where she was accepted. By this time, Mary's family had already gone bankrupt and was in liquidation. To protect her pride, I often insisted on her tutoring me, and I even paid her a considerable amount under the guise of tutoring fees. Because of my shameless behavior, I was often mocked as Mary's sycophant. Now, I was reluctant to endure the hardships of studying. Who could have known that later I would accompany Mary in starting a business, going from a pampered young master to someone who had to smile and seek investments everywhere, enduring malicious insults at banquets while maintaining a smiling face. In a corridor outside the classroom, I could see Mary's class looking at her still somewhat youthful face. My heart was filled with mixed emotions. In this lifetime, I don't want to get close to her again. Isn't she in love with Tom? I, as her devoted admirer, shouldn't be a hindrance to their romance. After class, I stood for a whole period, my legs a bit numb, leaning against the wall. Then I saw Mary walking straight towards me. She softly asked, "I heard you were punished by the teacher for sleeping in class. You must be really tired. You can't catch up all at once. I prepared some notes for you, so take a good look." Mary smiled as she handed me the notebook in her hand, filled with her neatly organized handwriting. Looking at it, I could only remember finding a stack of love letters she had written to Tom when I was sorting through her belongings, each filled with affection. 2 years ago, Mary's family went bankrupt. Her father jumped from a building, and her mother was seriously ill in the hospital. She was mocked as a fallen phoenix, not as good as a chicken, and many people bullied her, among them Tom, who bullied her the most. When I found out, I rushed to the front to protect her under my wings, only to be ridiculed as a sycophant in my previous life. After Mary died, I saw her love letters. "You are the tenderness I can hardly forget, and George is just someone who buys my body with money, a person who humiliates me." I didn't take the notes. I just coldly said to her, "Mary, it's better for us to have less contact in the future. Lest people think I'm insulting you with tutoring fees." Hearing my words, Mary was a bit taken aback, then put on a tolerant expression and said, "Don't mess around. We're in our senior year. If I don't tutor you, who will? Is it because I said yesterday that I only see you as an older brother that you're upset? You know we're still high school students. I think everything should prioritize our studies. I tell you, I'll be fine after graduation." After saying this, she shyly tried to take my hand, but I swatted it away, saying, "Classmate Mary, boys and girls shouldn't be too close." Yes, in the last life, she was like this too, fully aware of my feelings for her, while hinting that we would be together after graduation, all while accepting my benefits. It was hypocritical to the point of making me sick. Mary's fair hand turned red from my slap. She had never been wronged by me before, and her expression stiffened at this moment. As a commotion in the hallway, Tom and his little brothers approached. Tom walked over and said, "Hey, isn't this our academic superstar, Mary? So, are you sweet-talking with your little boyfriend?" Mary looked a bit anxious and hurriedly explained that I wasn't her boyfriend, fearing that Tom might misunderstand something. In that case, Tom laughed and said, "How about you consider me the academic superstar?" Mary blushed and replied sternly, "I'm still a student and not planning to date anyone, so stop bothering me." At the same time, she shot me a pleading look for help. I lowered my gaze, too lazy to engage in their flirtation, and turned to walk back to the classroom. Behind me, Tom had one hand on Mary's shoulder and was still saying something. Mary clearly looked happy, yet she still seemed to be playing hard to get. Tom had actually been bullying Mary since the second year of high school. At first, it was just pulling her hair and similar things, but Mary always reacted so strongly that it drew Tom's full attention to her, and he became increasingly excessive in his actions. He even broke up with his girlfriend outside of school because he was too busy bullying Mary. Looking back, perhaps this was also Mary's strategy. After all, she was a top student with clever tactics. After Tom made it clear that he had his eyes on Mary, those who bullied her stopped, which is probably why Mary regarded Tom as an unforgettable warmth. In the days that followed, I refused Mary's request for extra tutoring time again and again. Tom openly declared war on me, barging into the broadcast room to confess to Mary, "Mary, I like you. Be with me." Then he turned and sent me a provocative text since Mary said, "It has nothing to do with you. Just stay put and don't disturb me while I'm trying to woo her." "Got it," I coldly replied. "It's none of my business. What did I say in my past life? Oh, 18-year-old George was so carefree. If you dare to harass Mary again, they'll beat you so badly that even your parents won't recognize you." I really was so stupid. Ever since I stopped running to Mary's class right after the bell and instead sat at my own desk to do my homework, the gazes around me have been constantly on me. I know they're secretly discussing why this has stopped. I can't be bothered to care. I don't sleep in class anymore, and I don't run around after class. I attend class honestly, read, and do my homework. On weekends, I go for unknown sessions, desperately catching up on the lessons I missed, thinking that this time I must get into a good university. My classmates guess that I've had an epiphany, and slowly I feel the whispers about me fading away. As soon as my class ends, I have to rush home to attend a lesson with the tutor I hired, and if I run into Mary on the way, I will ignore her. I really have no time to talk to her. Mary quickly couldn't hold back anymore. She stopped me on the road and asked, "Hurt, why have you been avoiding me lately? Did I do something wrong?" The young Mary might not yet despise me as she did after marriage, but they both share the same soul that doesn't love me yet pretends to. I didn't want to talk to her, but my silence clearly took on a different meaning in Mary's eyes. She sighed and said, "Tom confessing to me upset you, didn't it, George? You're not a child anymore. You know I don't like him. Please don't let someone else's words ruin our relationship." Oh, the university top student. Just as she was about to say something else, she was interrupted by the sudden appearance of Tom. Tom ignored me, standing in front of him, wrapping an arm around Mary and saying, "Did you eat the cake I brought? Don't you girls love cake?" Mary pushed him away in a bit of a fluster and said, "I didn't eat it. I threw it away. Stop bothering me." Tom raised an eyebrow, but wasn't angry. "Then next time I'll bring you milk tea. What flavor do you like?" It's clear that Tom had the looks to become a star. Who would refuse a handsome boy focusing intently on you? Certainly not Mary. She showed a hint of delight, quickly hiding it before Tom noticed, putting on an exasperated expression. It was obvious she understood Tom's desire to conquer. They were practically a match made in heaven. I didn't want to keep the tutor waiting, so I coldly said, "You two chat slowly. I'm leaving first." Mary instinctively wanted to leave with me, but was stopped by Tom. "Top student, your little lover doesn't seem to want to talk to you much, so why not talk to me? Tell me about the problems." Mary still didn't catch up. Recently, Tom's been making a big fuss about pursuing Mary while I haven't done anything at all. Some classmates who are close to me are worried, saying that Mary is about to be taken away by Tom and I haven't made any move. I was correcting the test paper I just wrote, and my error rate has decreased significantly. I happily said, "It doesn't matter. After all, she and I are just classmates. It's her business who she chooses to be friends with." At noon, when they went to the cafeteria for lunch, Tom and his group of little brothers surrounded Mary, calling her sister-in-law. Mary, after all, wanted to maintain her image as a top student, and in the past, I'd helped her fend off these annoying flies. Now that I had put aside my desire to help, she had to handle it on her own. "Go away. Stay away from me," she said with a sullen face, but Tom and the others were thick-skinned and didn't take Mary's words seriously. Mary didn't chase them away either. After all, she had a bit of vanity, and I think she enjoyed the feeling of being the center of attention. After that, Mary came to the classroom to look for me several times, but I ignored her, unable to lower my pride. I completely stopped talking to Mary. I was happy to have some peace and quiet. Since then, Mary has indeed softened her attitude towards Tom. After being so aloof for so long, she should give Tom a little sweetness, right? I don't know if it's the competition, the nature of man at play, but Tom seems to think I still like Mary. He occasionally sends me photos of them together, as if provoking me has become his life goal. Photos of them shopping together, sent to me. Photos of the notes Mary made for him, sent to me. Photos of them skipping class to watch the sunset, sent to me. It's as if he's recreating the daily interactions I once had with Mary. I have no reaction to this. To me, they're just a couple of clowns. But the photos of him and Mary going to the neighboring state to see the sea really surprised me. They skipped a week of classes and were caught by the homeroom teacher because of this. Mary's homeroom teacher came to me, wanted me to talk to Mary. After all, she is a high-achieving student who could get into Harvard. The teacher couldn't accept that a good student was continuously falling into decline. I expressed my helplessness to the teacher. I haven't been in touch with Mary for a long time. Her thoughts are not something I can influence. I'm sorry. The teacher could only sigh, disappointed that their promising student was dating a delinquent and willingly falling into decline. If you have to choose, it should be you. Tom has nothing but his looks, and the teacher is really worried about what they might do. Teacher, you can't say that. I have no intention of dating anyone. My main goal right now is to study hard. I hurriedly distance myself from my relationship with Mary. There's no way I would ever want to be entangled with her in this lifetime. Although I don't want to get involved with him, Tom still wouldn't let me go. After returning from the neighboring state, they were caught by the school, and with the college entrance exams coming up, the school didn't punish them. They just gave them a warning and a reflection paper, thanks to Mary's good grades. I don't know what got into Tom, but he actually thought I reported them to the school. After school, he even brought his little brother to corner me in an alley. George, you still can't forget about Mary, can you? Let me tell you, she's already my woman. If you dare to report me to the teachers again, you'll regret it. Looking at the shouting Tom in front of me, I was really annoyed. They didn't dare to lay a hand on me. After all, my family is wealthy, and I'm a school board member, so they could only threaten me like a clown. Crazy. When I got home, I organized the photos Tom sent me and posted them directly on social media with the caption blessings. After a long time, Mary privately messaged me. I'm sorry, George. I really like Tom. My feelings for you before were just familial. After replying that, I blocked her. I really can't believe that Mary still thinks I like her. The further away she is from me, the better. From then on, everyone truly believed that I no longer liked Mary, and my ears were finally at peace. Eventually, Mary and Tom officially got together. Meanwhile, I immersed myself in studying, absorbing knowledge like a parched sponge. During the final exams, I achieved a top 100 ranking in my grade, which I was very satisfied with. After all, there had been significant gaps in my knowledge before. To be able to rank in the top 100 in our school's final exams was a great result of my relentless studying day and night. If I keep this up, at the very least, I can get into a decent art university rather than just randomly choosing a school for Mary like in my past life. My good grades inexplicably attracted Mary again, and she came to my house to find me in the evening. Out of respect for my parents' friendship, my mom couldn't chase her away, so she could only ask me to come out and meet her. Is there something, George? Want to take a walk together and chat a bit? Walking on the road with Mary, one in front and the other behind, I just wanted to get it over with quickly. After all, I still had 3 papers to write. Mary hesitated several times, which really tested my patience. If you have something to say, just say it. I'm busy. George, can we go back to the way things were? Mary's pitiful appearance might have tugged at my heartstrings before, but now it just made me feel a bit nauseous. If you want to talk about feelings, go find your Tom. Don't come here and disgust me. Mary took a deep breath and quickly accepted the fact that I was blunt with her. George, you know that Tom and I are officially together. I know you don't like him, but I still hope you two can get along. I know that you and I have grown distant because I said our relationship was just sibling-like. But Mary clearly lacked confidence. Feelings can't be forced, and we will still be family in the future. Mary was trying to win me over, hoping that I would quickly follow the steps she provided. We haven't had a meal together in a long time. I responded to her, and Mary's eyes lit up as if she saw hope. It's been a long time since I've had Annie's cooking. When can we find time to? I interrupted her. Your family has gone bankrupt. You should know that our current interactions are purely based on past acquaintances. But since you want to be with someone like Tom, you should focus on your relationship. Stop bothering me and my family. After all, trash belongs in the trash heap. With that, I walked past her without mercy, leaving Mary stunned in place. The college entrance examination is approaching, and I feel quite stressed as the art line for the school I want to attend has been met, but the cultural line is also a significant challenge. To relax, the school rarely gave a day off, and instead of staying at home to write practice papers, I decided to go out for a walk. Unfortunately, I ran into Mary and Tom on the street, and they were having an argument. From what I overheard, Tom was losing interest and had been caught talking to other girls behind Mary's back, which led to a public fight. In the end, Tom slapped Mary and walked away, and I headed back home. I remember how I fought. Mary became pregnant during her relationship with Tom. She went to confront Tom about taking responsibility, only to find him flirting with another girl. When she approached him to argue, she was beaten instead, and the child was lost. She completely broke down and kidnapped Tom on the day of the second mock exam. During this time, she continuously abused Tom, saying things like, "It's all your fault, and if it weren't for you, I would have been happy for life." The police believed that Mary had a mental illness and came to ask me if I had noticed anything unusual during my time with her. I stated that I hadn't been in contact with her for a long time and was not familiar with her. Later, Mary repeatedly applied to meet with me in prison, all of which I refused. After all, I was very busy. After becoming a college student, I was occupied with making friends and studying. Using my uninjured left hand, I created exquisite portraits, which are more important than Mary. Later, I graduated, and because I truly love painting, I had no intention of taking over my parents' company. After hiring a professional manager to run the company, my parents were able to travel the world with peace of mind. In my previous life, it wasn't just me who collapsed after Mary's death. My parents, who cared for their son, were also devastated. In this life, looking at the couple currently sunbathing on a beach in the Southern Hemisphere, I feel deeply gratified that I am in prison. Mary committed suicide. Although she was saved, she still insisted on seeing me, or else she would continue to attempt suicide. I was extremely annoyed and decided to meet her. "You called me here. What do you want?" "George, I know I was wrong. Can you forgive me, please? I beg you, forgive me." Mary no longer had the spirited demeanor she once had. In prison, she looked like she had aged 10 years. She leaned against the glass, pleading for my forgiveness. "I don't blame you anymore," I said. "Really, George? Do I still have a chance? When I get out, can we live a good life together?" Mary was overjoyed. "No," I said coldly. "I just don't blame you anymore, because you hold no place in my heart. I don't want to waste my thoughts on someone irrelevant. As for whether there is still a possibility between us, Mary, have a little self-awareness. You should reflect on the mistakes you've made in prison and stop bothering me. I want to come to see you again." After saying that, I stood up and left, ignoring Mary's screams behind me. I would only walk firmly towards my bright future.